Hi guys, how is everybody getting on with everything crazy that's going on at the moment? Let's just forget about that and look at astrology for a minute. So it is Sunday, the 22nd of March 2020, and we are headed towards a new moon. That's the big news that's coming up next week. The moon is in Pisces at the moment today, and the moon actually stays in Pisces until Tuesday the 24th. So then she enters Aries. That's starting a new cycle again. And the thing about that then is that the new moon actually comes in at that time as well. At this very moment, the moon is 3.7% full. So she has waned right down. And in the early part of this week, very little lunar influence going on at all, actually. The main influence, in fact, is just going to be almost the absence of the moon, because the effect of the moon in astrology is all because of the amount of sunlight that hits her and reflects back to us. So there isn't much of that going on at the moment in the northern hemisphere, and actually in the southern hemisphere either, when I think about it. So yeah, not a lot going on with that. As we go through next week, then new moon on Tuesday the 24th. That's going to be 2:28 a.m. Pacific, 5:28 a.m. Eastern. Here in UK, 9:28 a.m. There's only 4 hours difference at the moment because the States and Canada are on daylight saving time, and we are still on normal GMT. We don't start BST until the end of the month. Okay, moving on through the week then, Aries. We don't actually get a Taurus moon until Friday. Let me see, 6:37 a.m. No, sorry, Thursday the 26th we get that Taurus moon. 6:37 a.m. Eastern, 9:37 a.m. Pacific. 4 hours after that, 1:37 p.m. in the UK afternoon, we get that Taurus moon then, setting the scene for next weekend, and no doubt I'll be back before then. Also, a thing to remember is that Mercury retrograde, although it's actually over, Mercury is now in the post-shadow to that retrograde, so it's starting to move forwards again, but it's moving forwards very slowly. It gathers speed, and it's not actually until next Sunday, the 29th of March 2020, that Mercury is going to be full speed ahead and everything back to normal. So look out for glitches. I'm not going to say big troubles because the retrograde is actually over, but look out for glitches along the way, because Mercury isn't quite at peace just yet. What is really good about the post-shadow to Mercury retrograde, though, is that we begin to see reasons why things were as wacky as they were during the retrograde. We begin to find blind spots in our awareness that have been raised because of Mercury retrograde that we didn't know about before. So there we go. Maybe Mercury retrograde didn't affect you very much, actually. It doesn't all the time. It's only if it's got something to teach that it actually affects us. Okay, now then, a quick word about something else. I like to keep the COVID thing out of these videos, really, because it's not exactly positive thinking. But I've got something to say here that I hope is going to be really positive and will help people. Basically, as things have got more intense in the UK over the last week or so, they're getting more intense everywhere. The UK has really been waking up to this over the last week or so. My Facebook and my Messenger are absolutely full of bits of advice people have sent, and that's done for the best of reasons. I know it is. But a lot of it is kind of, maybe this will help, maybe that'll help. I've heard this, I've heard that. Well, thanks for all that, because it's good to know. But I've got to say to absolutely everyone, and this is a strange thing for me to say, but you want to follow the government line at the moment, follow the government advice. I never really agree with governments. I don't like that way of ruling the world. I really don't. But the fact is, at a time like this, if the government's got it wrong, then nearly everyone is going to be suffering from it, and the government is going to have the money to put in to actually treat and solve whatever problems it might have caused. If everyone's following random little bits of advice and going their own way on it, then it's going to be really hard, and it's going to take that much longer, basically, to solve these problems. On the worrying front, as I've said in previous videos, the main damage that this could do to absolutely everyone is to get us all so worried that it changes the brain chemistry when you get worried. It's not a positive thing at all. Some people think, well, if I get worried about it, I'll sort it all out and everything will be fine. That's not the case, friends. I can understand why people might feel like that, but it's not the case. Think, how many things that you've got worried about in your life have actually happened? Very few, I'm sure. possibly even none at all. You know, worry is just, it just doesn't help matters, you know. So chin up, keep looking up. You know, the answers are always upwards. If you're ever someone who plays those aeroplane games, and I suspect a lot more people are playing games online at the moment, if you play those aeroplane games where you're trying to fly a plane on your tablet or computer or whatever, you'll quickly find that you need to keep your nose above the horizon. Otherwise, the plane will eventually crash. So keep your nose above the horizon. And if it's been dipping a bit, then, you know, pull back, look up, and keep being positive, because that is the only thing that's really going to beat any of this. The most harm that coronavirus can do is get everyone worried sick. Then the immune system suffers. That is an absolute fact, okay? So chins up, everybody. Look forward, look ahead. We've got a Pisces moon. We've then got a new moon cycle a new moon cycle starting on Tuesday, and the astrology cycle starting again in Aries. It is actually a time of new beginnings in astrology, and because it's in astrology, then that's going to be everywhere in the world, and it can be positive for everyone. You've just got to key into that positivity. You've got to look upwards, you've got to look onwards. I'll be back again soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep it safe. Peace.